Today on J-Ray's Kitchen, we're going to be going all the way back to April to see how our seeds have turned into vegetable plants. So here's the progress on the seedlings. As you can see, I've got this thing flipped upside down right now. So these are all the tomato plants, and they are sprouted out. They're getting very tall, and they're leaning towards the window, which is over here to the right, trying to soak up that sun. On the other side, there's some tomato plants in that upper corner there that are starting to come out. And we're getting a little bit of action from the peppers, but they're a little bit slower. But overall, looking great. This is just after about a week and a half. So looking really amazing. These things will be ready to go come warm weather. All right, so today is May 15th. And as you can see, all our plants that we started off in that little seed starter tray have grown quite a bit. And I've had to move them out of that seed starter tray and put them into cups. So these are all little Dixie cups. Drilled a hole in the bottom, added more dirt to them. They're really taking off. I've kind of lost track of that little card that shows what everything is, but I still have everything pretty well bunched together. So as these tomato plants have gotten taller, I've tried to pack as much dirt up around them as I can. But even when you buy them in the store and you've got a long bit of stem coming from the dirt to the bottom of the leaves, a lot of times you can lay it down in the hole and get as much of that stem in the ground and bend it. You know, don't break it, but plant it in the ground to where the base of the stem gets covered up as much as possible, and that helps the tomato plants to grow a lot better. Pepper plants are a little bit different. I've packed as much dirt up around them as I can, as you can see, but there's really no need in trying to go higher with these. They're a little bit different than tomato plants. The bases don't root out quite the same way. I'm going to split some of these plants up and plant them here, and then plant some of them at another location, because I definitely don't have room for them all here. But that's our progress as of May 15th. And here's a look at my potatoes. They are really coming along. Let's say this is probably like week 5, week 6 of these things. Really doing good. Got them hoed up really good. Put fertilizer on them. We've had a lot of rain. Sounds like another storm's getting ready to come in. We'll keep you posted. So today I'm making eggs. But not for a recipe, just because I need it for the next part. Alright guys, today's May 28th, and look at these plants. The tomato plants are getting way too big now. They need to go in the ground. Pepper plants, they're really starting to grow good too. I got a few small ones still up here, but they'll grow just fine once they get in the ground. So as I mentioned before, whenever we plant these tomato plants, I'm going to take these small leaves on the bottom, and I'm going to take those off as I put them in the ground. And if you can see really up close, all these little fibers here, those will eventually, if I stick those into the ground, that'll turn into roots. And these tomato plants will do a whole lot better. The more roots in the ground, the better they'll grow. So as you can see, last night I actually planted a few tomato plants to get started. And my daughter wanted to put her sunflower in the middle. Poor thing got attacked by a groundhog. Don't worry, I've taken care of that problem since then. You know. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 tomato plants right in here. To start out, I'm going to dig a nice little hole. Just like that. And you see I've had a lot of issues with, I think this might be Bermuda grass that's coming up. It's just a creeping grass that grows on a vine, more of a warm weather grass. But when it takes over, it takes over. So I've been having to pull this stuff out of here constantly since it started coming up. Now we're going to take our eggshell and we're going to put that in the bottom of the hole. Now for years I didn't know about this trick, but the age of the internet, even though it's bad in a lot of ways, I learned about how to add calcium to the tomato plant, and this is one method. Old timers and other folks use eggshell in the bottom of the hole to provide the tomato plant with an initial blast of calcium that will last for pretty much the entire life of the plant. Other folks may use some kind of fertilizer or additive to do that, but eggshell works great and it's free. So again, we'll pull them lower limbs off, little leaves off the plant, and then cover it up. And we want to cover it up to where most of that base of that stem is completely covered with plant, with dirt. When these get a little bit bigger and they start needing to be supported, we're probably going to use either some type of stake. I used to use cages a lot with metal wire, but I'm not going to have room for that here. So it's probably going to either be wood stakes, or I'm thinking about getting some bamboo sticks and using that as stakes. So again, some eggshell on the bottom. And look at all the root that grew in that cup once we transferred it from the small pods to the bigger pod. I would say break this up, but I don't want to damage any of the roots, and they'll spread out. Pull them bottom leaves off. That crabgrass out of the way. And again, cover it up all the way up on the plants. If you know a good way to get rid of Bermuda grass without using Roundup, let me know, because right now all I can do is pull it and hope for the best. I'm going to get a few more in the ground, but that's our basic start on planting tomato plants. So it's June 10th. Here's my progress on both of my garden beds. Got my daughter's sunflower in the middle, and I got about 12 tomato plants. You can see I've got a pretty big problem with this Bermuda grass that's creeping in. I believe it's Bermuda. It grows on a vine, it's real thick, it's all over the ground around this. Just keep on digging it up and pulling it up as much as I can. But everything's looking good. I'll take a video and let you know how everything's looking over at my dad's property where the rest of my garden stuff is. It's coming along. Stay tuned for episode 3, where I'll show you more from the other garden and we'll start collecting vegetables. Plus, look for a video on making salsa. See you next time.